The goal was to find out how many clients a BigBlueButton server can handle. To maybe update the numbers on the website and see if the new BigBlueButton 2.6 has unknown bottlenecks. And the setup was like this. We had a server with 12 cores, 24 gigabytes of RAM, enough network capacity, and a build from the beginning of the week. And we had up to 960 bots joining all one meeting. The computers were just desktop computers from my university, and I used them or configured them to have 1.5 bot per CPU core on the desktop. So some machines had 4 cores, others had 6, and so on. So the number of bots per host were varying. So what did I test? I joined the bots at different rates. So like I started with 20 bots per second, reducing it to 10, then to 5, and lastly to 2. And to see if the bots have joined, I let 5% of the bots joining by microphone. Like, for example, if you have a lecture in the university and a big lecture hall, people could join. And most people will just use listen only. And to use that, I chose to use only 5% using microphone. And the microphone users muted themselves because in the testing frameworks, the bots were just beeping all around and it's getting annoying. And then when the bots were joined, we tried it out and a little video. We did a screen share, raised hand, and see with another human in the same meeting if it was still reactive and behaving well. Yeah. And the results were, it worked. Yeah. It did the job. You could use a BigBlueButton meeting with a few hundred users. Actually, the test with 950 users was done in the morning when everybody else was asleep, I assume. Because the computers at the university were used for teaching and I couldn't use all of them for further testing. The result is, if you've got a lot of users, then you have to take care about the join rate. I could get the 950 bots into the meeting if I joined 2 bots per second. If it was more, the server would overload. So this is at least something that has to be taken care of if you're planning such a big setup. We had some effects on it. So I could let the bots make screenshots and then compare them. And in this example, you can see that the chat still has a message. This is not a published release yet, so it's probably something that has to be fixed and can be fixed. But as you can see, what we actually wanted to investigate is if the multi-user whiteboard updates were showing correctly on clients. So we picked random examples from the screenshots and compared them, and it looked good. So, yeah. So 950 users is possible. It's a bit, well, it works. But I would not publish 950 users. It's possible with BigBlueButton a bit lower, and you're good. You have to take care about the join rate, and especially because the CPU load on the server is quite high when clients are joining. And the client is in general very stable and worked like a charm. So, and here you can screenshot from this morning that there are these 950 users in the same room. Okay, what does it look like on Grafana if you want to see the stats of the server? And you can see here are the spikes in the CPU load. And this looks like this is context switching between threads on the server, because CPU usage itself for user space applications and for kernel threads was not that high. So I think maybe there's something that can be optimized. I don't know yet, so I didn't investigate it. And here in the beginning, these were the tests with a join rate of 20, and I got only 200 clients joined, and then it was dropping. The next test was with 10 per second. It still was dropping. And the last one, it was 5 and so on. And here it was 2 clients per second joining. And you see the ramp up. As it goes down when the clients are joined, and then it's all fine. This spike here at the end is when the clients leave at the same time. So this also causes a huge spike on the server. Okay, I had a second project. This was a small project to configure BigBlueButton in a way that BigBlueButton server itself can handle the churn traffic. Because currently there are quite a lot of questions on the user mailing list asking for, why is audio not working? Why is video not working? And the first question to these users asking the question is, did you configure a churn server? And likely they didn't. So the idea is to run a churn server on each BigBlueButton server and to make the churn server available even to users in networks that are strictly firewalled and they only expose port 443. You have to share the churn server and the web server from BigBlueButton on the same port. And actually, this is possible. This is how it is possible. You use HAProxy in front of Nginx and Coturn. So HAProxy offers the port 443 and terminates the SSL. So encryption happens there. And then HAProxy inspects the first byte. And by looking into the first byte, it can decide if it's an HTTP request, which should go to Nginx, or if it's a churn request, which goes to Coturn. That's it. It's not that hard. And probably if we fiddle out some issues, then it will be in BBB install. That's it.